Alrighty, tidy whitey. Welcome back to week 14, where, as you can see, the Danger Chickens were in zero danger there against the Minnesota Vikings there. 35 to 17. Spud NATO actually lost to the Bengals, dropping down a spot. The San Francisco 49ers famously beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl in a clincher out there, but it looks like they lost by a touchdown. Coming up here, looking like Desert Swarm, doing exactly what I thought they would do, just handing the Jets a loss in really good fashion here. The Carolina Panthers whooped up on my Atlanta Falcons there. Taking a look, the Mac and Cheats dropping the Browns, which is good, always good to see. The Giants not scoring anything at all against the Chargers. That's pretty good to see. Brady Gaga losing by a last minute field goal by the Wolverines out there, which is pretty interesting. That is our game of the week. And then we have the Shore Shots doing what they do best and owning Chicago out there. And then the Fighting Penguins getting a win over the Los Angeles Rams out there with that little bit of a Super Bowl hangover that they still end up having. Taking a look at the rankings there, things are looking pretty good. Let's dive into our game of the week here. So taking a look at our game of the week, the offensive yards gained goes towards the Wolverines, 432 to 417. Rushing yards, looks like the Brady Gagas did have a good solid lead out there. The offensive passing yards was kind of sort of close out there. Offensive first downs, 19 to 17. 13 punt return yards, 133 to 71 kick return yards, and 550 total offensive yards by the Brady Gaga, as well too as 516 for the Tampa Bay Wolverines. One turnover each. Looks like 7 third down conversions to 3, and then 3 to 1 fourth down conversions. The Wolverines taking a shot out in the dark there. 0 2-point conversions, 75 and 66% respectively in the red zone. And then just looks like Brady Gaga had that good field goal there kind of at the end. And would you look at that? How did I miss this? How did I miss this? And we'll touch base on that here because that is obviously not the score and how they got it. But 25 to 65 penalty yards and then basically even Steven time of possession out there. But if we actually take a look at the score, looks like Brady Gaga got off to a good start at 7-0, and then it was 14-14 by the end of the second quarter. Third quarter, Brady Gaga came out and scored a touchdown, and then they tied it up in the fourth quarter. In the end, it looks like Brady Gaga scored a field goal. They may have gotten the ball back first, and then, of course, under the NFL's rules, if you score a field goal first, the other team does get a chance to win it. And it would look like that's exactly what ended up happening, is that the Tampa Bay Wolverines ended up winning out there. Let's go and dive over to our player stats. Okay. So for some reason, Case Keenum came into the game here. So let's go ahead and dive into the Bills here. Case Keenum, 143.7 rating with 9 yards, a touchdown. Tom Brady had 103 as a passer rating, 284 yards versus 9, 3 touchdowns versus Keenum's 1. One interception. Brady keeps throwing those interceptions out there. 27 looks like it was only a 9-yard pass. Brady was sacked. Brady was 20 for 34. Case Keenum had the 1 for 1, 100%, 9 yards, 8.4 for Brady. Let's go and take a look at rushing. Najee Harris doing what Najee Harris does, 24 for 90 yards with 3 broken tackles, yards after contact. All right, don't need to look into that. David Montgomery coming in at 4 for 21. And then Tom Brady scrambling for 13 yards out there. That's actually pretty impressive. Looking here at the wide receiver, go figure, Mike Evans, of course, 8 for 13 with 1 touchdown. And then OBJ, 2 for 50 with a touchdown. Darren Waller, 5 receptions for 48 yards with a touchdown. DJ Moore, 3 for 38. And David Montgomery for 2 for 35. And then I did like to take a look here at the kick return. So Stevenson had some fairly good yards, but OBJ, 4 kick returns for 85 total yards. That's nice. That's nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Buccaneers. Matt Stafford, 103.4 for 356, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 74 for the longest, 6 sacks. 6 freaking sacks on the season. on the game. That's amazing. I'm surprised Brady Gaga did not win that game then with 6 sacks. 23 for 36 at 63 at 9.9. With the rushing, Javonte Williams 10 for 40 yards, 4 yards average with a touchdown. And then Darrell Henderson Jr. went 5 for 14 with one, and then Matt Stafford 3 for 15 with an average of 5 yards. Looks like they had him scrambling. Kyle Pitts 5 for 98. Darrell Henderson 4 for 92 with a touchdown. Brandon Cooks 5 for 65 for a touchdown. Cooper Kupp 3 for 40. Robert Woods 3 for 32. Cody McElroy 1 for 17. Elijah Moore 1 for 8, and Javonte Williams 1 for 4. And then kind of want to take a look here at the kick return. Yep, okay. Raheem Morset 2 for 51, and then AJ Winfield Jr. 1 for 20. So let's go ahead and take a look back here because I wonder if Brady ended up getting hurt. I'm still on week 14, so let's go ahead and head on over to... Cool. That's great. Thank you. His rating and his health. Okay, so he's slightly fatigued. To increase fatigue levels, go to the player. Okay, yeah. That's cool. Okay, so he's not hurt, but that's kind of interesting that that Stafford came into the game there. So let's go ahead and take a quick gander on over at the league. Let's go ahead and look at. Oh well, you know what? Let's go ahead and look up at the next week's games before we hit the title ratings there. The short shots. Where are they at? Yeah, short shots taking on the Mac and Cheats, so that's going to be a game of the week there. We've got the Sons of Saban taking on the Jets, which is going to be a good one. The Indianapolis, Jackson Drive coming up against New England. Your Shore Shots taking on the Mac and Cheats, both at 10-3, so somebody's going to come away a loser there. Taking a quick gander, the Brady Gaga taking on Carolina. And we've got my Danger Chickens taking on Tennessee. The Fightin' Penguinos taking on the 0-13 Detroit Lions. Looks like Spud NATO might get a win over my Atlanta Falcons. And then not Jackson Drive. We've got the Desert Swarm taking on your 10 Wolverines. And look at that. That's pretty interesting, huh? That's fairly interesting here that we've actually got two teams that are playing against each other. So we got two games of the week, the Shore Shots versus the Cheats, and then Swarm versus the Wolverines. And they're both even Steven. So somebody is going to come away a loser. Let's go ahead and check out the schedule here. Let's go to the playoff picture. Doesn't look like a whole heck of a lot has changed. Danger Chickens are still Danger in at number 1 there. Sons of Saban at 2. Jackson Drive at 3. The Mac and Cheats at 5. But looks like the Chiefs ended up taking over for the number 7 spot out there. And coming over to the NFC division, the Shore Shots are still sitting atop at 1. The Fighting Penguins are now at 2. Desert Swarm dropped to 7. The Spud NATOs dropped to number 6 there. And then the Wolverines are now at 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, so we still have all 8 of our teams in there. Looks like we are all going to be doing some good playoff rounds. And this is something I actually wanted to bring up here, is that when we come into the playoffs, I'm going to do a quick little playoff summary. I'm going to do a playoff summary. But, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do that, because then that's going to make things... I might do it a little differently than... we'll see how the playoffs come. We'll see how the playoffs turn out, and we're going to see what we can and can't do with that. So we're going to go ahead and just dive into the rankings here. So we're going to start off with the Listener League, as we always do. Your Shore Shots improved to 10-3. The Sons of Saban are at 10-3. Brady Gaga sitting at 6-7. The Wolverines are 9-4, and so is Spud NATO. Running on over to the Hosting League, the Danger Chickens are dangering at 13-0. The Mac and Cheats are 10-3. Jackson Drive is 10-3 as well. Desert Swarm and the Fighting Penguins are 9-4. A lot of teams doing really good out there. I'm actually kind of excited to see what comes of it, and I may end up doing this one of two different ways, depending upon how the playoff picture looks moving forward here. But this has been your Week 13 into Week 14 progression, and we will see you all on the next week out there in Week 15.